So FlagSHIP is a wonderful program. So I've been here since 2011, and it's probably the most dynamic program that I've been a part of. My name is Dr. Jessica Howell. I am trained formally as a historian. Russian history is my area of expertise in Latin American, so I've traveled a lot for those roles. But a couple years ago, I transitioned over to global education, and so I serve as the Assistant Dean for Global Education and International Partnerships. So anything having to do with students going somewhere for an internship, a semester abroad, a study abroad, a FlagSHIP, any of those roles come through my office. I also help us find new institutions to partner with so we can send students to other countries for a semester. Students come in, they're excited about FlagSHIP, but it's kind of like this long process. So their freshman year, their first year I should say, they're going to get some information about FlagSHIP throughout the first semester. There will be like a FlagSHIP, I don't remember what it's called, like a FlagSHIP kind of kickoff that happens usually in November. And that's where we have students that are eligible for FlagSHIP come and talk about different programs. And then by about March of a student's first year at Flagler, we will know what programs are going to be offered for a FlagSHIP term. So students will see that list and they can choose to stay on campus and do a course on like photography around St. Augustine, or they can do a travel program. Iceland is one that we have for the upcoming year. So they get to look at all of those. They register for them in April, but then they have to wait. And they wait and they wait and they wait. The terms for FlagSHIP are either Jan term, which is about the first 3 weeks of January, and then Maymester, typically about the first 2 or 3 weeks in May. So they learn about them their first year here, they experience them their second year here. And in between that, there's a lot of communication. I tell students you can't miss the information unless you don't check your email. So check your email. But they receive information about what's going to be offered, what are the costs, what are the dates, tentative dates, because we're looking a year and a half in advance in some cases. But that's typically how the FlagSHIP program works. Funding, FlagSHIP, there's no additional tuition for a FlagSHIP, but they do have to pay the program cost. But for FlagSHIP, we have a lot of great scholarship opportunities. So I tell students, even if you don't think you're going to travel abroad, apply for a study abroad scholarship through FlagSHIP, just in case you change your mind. And then we are working very hard to get more scholarship opportunities for our other study abroad options. But really planning early and keeping our office in the loop will help guide the students. But at any time, they can email global@flagler.edu, and somebody in our team will be happy to reach out.